Today, we're going to continue our discussion of states of consciousness, and we're going to talk about dreams and hypnosis today. So, kind of a review from yesterday, we talked about or from the last class, we talked about REM sleep. REM sleep is when we have the most vivid dreams. Another thing we know about dreams is that people can dream in both color and black and white. Dreams seem to People seem to dream in real time, so it can feel very similar to real life. And people don't always remember their dreams. Just like with everything we've talked about, there's not a consensus on exactly what's happening or why it's happening. So we'll talk about some of the dream theories here now. One of the theories, or one of the main people behind the kind of psychoanalytic theory on dreaming is Freud. And Freud had a lot of ideas about the unconscious, and so that kind of lines up here with what we're talking about now. He theorized that dreams reflect a person's unconscious wishes and urges. And he also believed that people dream in symbols as a way to deal with painful material they can't otherwise deal with consciously. So his idea is that we use dreams, of course, in our unconscious. We don't necessarily know that we're doing it, but we use them to deal with things that we don't want to or we can't have in our consciousness. Another theory is the biopsychological approach to dreams. So some psychologists believe that dreams begin with biological, not psychological activity. So according to this view, neurons fire during sleep, which we saw our brain waves that we have during sleep. And the neurons fire in the part of the brain that controls movement and vision. So, according to the biological approach, the brain is trying to make sense of those kind of impulses and the firing by dreaming. It's our cerebral cortex that's trying to interpret the random electrical activity that we have when sleeping, and that's why we have dreams. And that's also why those dreams are sometimes strange and they don't make sense, because it's us trying to make sense of some sort of electrical activity that's random and doesn't make sense. There's also the information processing theory. And the information processing theory states that the function of REM is to integrate information processed during the day into our memory, and that our dreams are a way to deal with the stresses of everyday life. There is some evidence to back this idea up. We tend to dream more when we're stressed. Stress increases the number and the intensity of our dreams. Dream content often will relate to our daily concerns. Babies enter into that REM sleep more often. And also, if you think back to when we talked about sleeping and the idea that when we sleep, or when we don't get enough sleep, there are consequences. One of the things we talked about was attention and memory can be affected by not having enough sleep. So the idea that when we sleep, we process the information from our day would kind of lend itself to that, right? Because it's saying that when we're dreaming, we're putting that information that we learn to use. So if we don't get enough sleep, we don't enter into that deep sleep and get that dreaming in, we might not be able to process the information from the day. Now, moving on to hypnosis. Hypnosis is something that's pretty misunderstood in psychology. So we'll talk a little bit about hypnosis. Won't spend a whole lot of time on it. But what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is a condition in which people appear to be highly suggestible and behave as if they are in a trance. There's a lot of kind of disagreement on hypnosis in the psychological field. Some psychologists believe that hypnosis is an altered state of consciousness. So when we are, awake and alert, that is a state of consciousness. Some believe that hypnosis is an altered state of consciousness, the way we change our consciousness. Others think that hypnosis is not truly an altered state of consciousness, rather a suggestion. And the thing to kind of remember about this is there's no one generally accepted explanation for hypnosis. Here are some myths and facts about hypnosis from Holt. Some myths. You can be hypnotized against your will. The fact of the matter is, no one can be hypnotized unless he or she is willing to be. It's a person has to be relaxed and accepting of the process to be hypnotized. So it's not just like, when you see on TV, someone gets hypnotized by looking at a watch. That's not really what's happening. Another myth, when hypnotized, you can't open your eyes. Uh, that is not true as well. Being hypnotized dulls, but doesn't fundamentally affect the normal functioning of your senses. Another myth, you cannot remember your own name. The fact is, you can remember everything normally. You normally remember when under hypnosis. Myth, you act out scenes from childhood. Fact is, you don't typically act out scenes at all. It's just sort of a relaxed state. Myth, you believe in unusual or you behave in unusual ways. A fact, you usually behave quite normally when under hypnosis. Again, it's that relaxed kind of state. Another myth, you will do anything. The fact is, you're unlikely to do anything you wouldn't normally do when under hypnosis. Another myth, you go into a sleep state. So again, if you've seen on TV someone getting hypnotized, it looks like they've fallen asleep on a couch or something. The fact is, you stay pretty alert and conscious during hypnosis. So, what are kind of the uses of hypnosis? Um, Hypnosis can be used for several different things. Memory, it is not typically a reliable approach to help people remember things like details of a crime, which sometimes it is used for, or people suggest it be used for. It's not really a good use for hypnosis to try and get people to remember things, because many psychologists will argue that material that's recalled under hypnosis cannot be used as testimony in trials. So memory is not really a proper use of hypnosis trying to recover things. Certainly couldn't be held up in court. Some people use it for pain prevention. Hypnosis has been used to help people prevent pain. A similar effect can be achieved through relaxation and breathing techniques or breathing exercises as well. So it might, not necessarily be in the hypnosis that people will um, experience uh, help, with pain prevention or dealing with pain. However, it's that, you're in a relaxed state, and just trying to get yourself in that relaxed state on your own or using breathing exercises can be just as helpful. Another thing it's been used for is quitting bad habits. Therapists can use post hypnotic suggestion to help people quit a bad habit. So perform the hypnosis and then afterwards use that post hypnotic suggestion to, remind them or um, give instructions to carry out after the session is ended. So telling them, for example, if they're trying to quit smoking, post-hypnotic suggestion would be, they would go under hypnosis. The therapist would suggest to them that they're not going to smoke anymore and they're going to quit smoking right then and there. Then when the person would come out of hypnosis, the idea would be that they would quit smoking, and they would do it because of that post-hypnotic suggestion. So those are the main kind of details of um, dreams and hypnosis that are important to remember. There's a short assignment for you to do on your Google Classroom to kind of help you and to wrap up this idea of dreams and hypnosis. I'm out of the office today, so if you have any questions, you can email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I will see you all next week when we're back together.